Uncle Mort's South Country by Peter Tinniswood.
Carter Brandon and Uncle Mort decided not to travel far. They were tired. So was the blood-red beetle. The narrow lane heaved itself wearily along a chalk-streamed valley. Cattle stood silent, fetlock deep in the slow-swirled water. Dragonflies hovered and dawdled the reed beds. The corpse of a mink hung from a warped pole.
I'll tell you something about the countryside in the south, Carter.
What's that?
There's a total absence of abandoned supermarket trolleys.
They came to a village. They found a pub that offered bed and breakfast.
Should we stop the night here?
Why not? We've got enough pyjamas between us, haven't we?
Yes.
They booked in for the night. The room welcomed them with a grin of tightly knotted floorboards and a chuckle of clumsy dresser drawers. It was 11 o'clock in the morning. They went downstairs to the bar. They ordered pints of beer and whisky chasers. The floorboards were bare, but they were clean. The window ledges were unadorned, but they were clean. There were 2 Jack Russell pups worrying a beer mat. They were clean too. And so was the landlord. He handed them their drinks and said,
"Well then, I suppose you'll be wanting to know something about the history of our village and its surrounding environs."
No.
Good. It is believed by historians that this village was founded in the dark centuries of the early Stone Age.
And so's your ale, Squire. Have you got the licence to let it out in public unaccompanied?
Now then, on leaving our hostelry, you will notice in the centre of the village, at the easternmost corner of the green, the 14th century chalk and flint church of St. Giles Without, with its twin medieval towers and original Saxon flutings.
Isn't he a billet, Carter?
Aye.
On continuing up the lane to the left of the churchyard and across the ancient ox drove, we come to the remains of the Augustinian priory, founded, so legend has it, by King Stephen.
Fancy. Is he the bloke what invented washable ink?
The landlord smiled, rested his psoriasis-blotched elbows on the counter of the bar, leaned forward intently, and continued.
On returning from our sojourn at the priory, we resume our leisurely stroll and pass by the old rectory house, in which Charles Dickens, the celebrated author, is said to have resided while writing part of Dombey and Son. Casting our eyes leftwards of the old rectory house, the visitor will observe the almshouses built from distinctive chull-marked stone and founded in 1721 for the relief and instruction of the poor. Not boring you, am I?
No, but your ale's having a bloody good try.
Actually, you chaps couldn't have come to our village at a better time.
Why's that?
Because today is Kindlewood night.
And what's that when it's at home?
It's the day when at midnight the villagers process up to the woods on Hay Balls Hill to exercise their ancient rights of collecting kindling wood for the winter.
Well, that's let us off the hook, Squire. We're fully centrally heated at home.
He turned on his heel and, followed by his nephew, stepped outside into the main street of the village.
What the hell are we doing here, Carter?
We've come to see what life is like in a typical southern village.
But the landlord's already told us. According to him, it consists entirely of substandard pre-war housing, failed writers, and everyone's so poor they can't afford to pay their own coal bills. Shall we go on, then?
We're stopping, and that is that.
They commenced to stroll through the village.
Where's all the people, then?
You what?
There's no people about, Carter. Where's all the women snapping at your ankles with pushchairs and mobile shopping baskets? Where's all the ankle biters riding their bikes on the pavements and shunting up your ass with their skateboards? Where's all the young housewives flicking cigarette ash over their Sproggs titty bottles?
Don't talk empty.
A jay chattered down to drink from a sly puddle. Bold crest, bold rump. Flash of startled wings as a buzzard wheeled into view high above the billowing beeches. Rabbits scampered in the thickets, and a blackbird scattered its alarm among the brambles and the wicked thorns.
I can't stand the countryside, Carter.
Why not?
Because there's far too much natural history taking place. There's far too many toads for my liking in the countryside. Then you've got your stoats and your bats and flies what get into your egg sandwiches and nip your ghoulies when you're having a quiet crap behind a bush. Bastards.
The countryside's not like that. The countryside's beautiful. Look at all the calendars it's on.
Rubbish. What's beautiful about cowpats? What's beautiful about dead chickens piled in a heap at the back of a barn? What's beautiful about stringing up sparrowhawks from gibbets and chasing stags till they burst their hearts? If you want to see real beauty, Carter, all you've got to do is stop where you was born, in the city. Open your eyes, observe the sights. Dilapidated speedway stadiums. There's beauty for you. The shadows cast by a defunct gasometer on a canal in the spring. The smell of wet battery shops. Doctors' waiting rooms in winter full of coughs and purple ankles. Sunday schools with soot-stained vicars and arse-hard benches. There's real beauty for you, Carter.
Shall we go back? I'm dying for a pint.
Favourite, lad. Favourite. I told you dying was right efficacious, didn't I?
They plodded slowly through the village. They could not stop yawning. They entered the pub slowly, drained of all energy, listless and bruised in spirit.
Ah, the travellers return. Passing the old dower house with its plaque to commemorate the erstwhile brief sojourn of the diarist, John Aubrey, I wonder if you noticed...
Bugger off.
I don't think I can manage a pint right now.
Neither could I. Mind you, a hemlock shandy wouldn't go amiss.
They made their way wearily up the heavy stairs. They lurched into the bedroom. They flopped onto the bed.
Oh, what's the matter with me? What's going on? I can't keep awake.
There was no reply. Uncle Mort was already sound asleep. Carter Brandon bent forward to take off his shoes, but before he could do so, he slumped backwards onto the bed and began to snore softly. The dreams of a young man in grey flannel trousers and pale blue Marks and Spencer's shirt. Winter city streets. The windows of treacle toffee shops ablaze with neon. Whine of police car, bleat of ambulance. Mounds of rotting cabbage and sprouts in the yard at the back of the covered market. Dead sparrow hanging by its feet from warehouse gutter. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
The sun paused in its long trek to the soft empire of the west. It peeked in at them through the narrow slit of the bedroom window. It smirked. It snickered. And then, with a scornful flick of its motes of dust, it continued its travels.
Beautiful. Bloody marvellous.
Uncle Mort and Carter Brandon slept on. Mice whispered in the skirting boards. They slept on and on. Spiders in their webs crunched moths. They slept on and on and on.